Hi everybody, I'm back for my part 2. This is my little book project that I'm doing inspired by Anne from Brooke, Textile artist, and we went through, in the last one, we went through the coloured threads. So I've got all the embroidery threads. I did change up the green to a more foresty, earthy green, and I took out the darker orange, and I've added in an extra, just a neutral tan and a apricot-y colour. I've kept in the variegated green. I've ordered some more because that's running low. So what I've chosen is a couple of these. I've got a fairly neutral palette. I know a lot of people tend to use, you know, like lots and lots of patterns and things like this. I might bring some in at some point, but for now what I gathered was some neutral colours that I love, and I've got this little applique thing that'll come in handy at some point. Some of the lace that was around the edge of the little button box that I did. This is a very pale kind of off-white lace. Some of this gorgeous, it's like, I don't know how well you can see it. It's got all these little bumps and ridges. I'm actually going to have a little play after, or tonight, later. I've got to go to my friend's place for dinner. But after, I might have a play with actually running it through the embossing machine and seeing if it does anything to maybe tissue paper or something wet or something like that. Anyway, that's that. Got a little bit of this, which is gorgeous, and I'm actually thinking I might tea stain that to add through the book. A bit of Cluny lace, lovely old Cluny lace. It's very antique-y. Gorgeous. I found this in my little stash. I thought it was actually yellow, but it seems to be that it's possibly it's white and it's been dyed or dipped in something, because it's sort of got yellow bits. So it's like a very pale yellow. It's quite interesting, so I like that. I've got these bits that are, I think I got this packet from the second-hand shop, or the op shop as we call them here in Australia, and I think that these are from lining curtains or something like that. So I've got a white and a gold. What else? I've got more white. I've got a sage green as well, so I think that's going to come in handy. And I've also got these two, which are like fabric from, I think that they're like upholstery fabrics. So there's that, and there's also a gold. So I've got a variety of things, and basically what Anne suggests doing is getting a couple of shapes, and this one, which I'm not even sure what it is. It's kind of got a weird feeling, but it's got this funny wood grain on it. So there's that. Oh, and this one. This is I don't know what it's from, but I really love it because it's got this patterning through it. It's very, very delicate. I love this stuff. Always makes me happy. Makes me very happy. So yes, what I was saying about what Anne was suggesting, I go all off on tangents. I don't know. Anyway, let's move these out the way for now. And I already started to look at what Anne was saying about getting some shapes and making the first one really a gentle, easy one. So, did I show the book? I didn't show you the book at the start. Oh my goodness. Tell you it's Wobby World today. The book Brooke, I have, as I said yesterday, I had sewn 2 lots of 2 together, and then what I've done is joined 2 lots of 2 to 2 lots of 2, and then I did the same on that side, and then I joined the 2 of them together. Okay, so that's sort of almost like a middle, but I'm leaving these because I'm thinking I like them. And so what we're working on today is page 1 and 2, because this will stick to the actual cover. What I've got is a square and just a shape, just an oblong. And Anne's suggesting that for this first page, all we do is really just take it very easy and simple and just do straight stitch. So straight stitch can be a long stitch, it can be a short stitch. Now I know on Anne's, she cut a little circle in something, so I don't know if I want to do that yet on this first page, but I do want to get it started. I might not have the colour, the serious colours, the serious colours in so straight away. Book. So just simple straight stitch. So that's what I am going to do. Alright, so I'll do some. I might just leave the camera rolling, but what I'll probably do is edit any of the bits out that get a bit boring. But the idea is really, it's sew along. I don't know if I've got, I can waffle on till the cows come home, but some days I just don't know if I've got enough to say. I could complain about my thumb still getting stuck and caught. So what do I want to do? How many? Alright, so there's, once again, here I am teaching something I don't really know a lot about. But I'm giving it a good go. Anyway, I was thinking about how I often say I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to sewing, but you know what? It's not that I don't, it's that I haven't done it for such a long time. I've just forgotten everything I kind of learnt. So I learnt, I did do it at primary school and high school, and I watched my mum doing it. I probably would have watched my grandma doing it too, but we came out to Australia when I was only 2, so we left all the relatives in England behind, so we didn't grow up with the relatives the same way, so I didn't get to watch what my aunties might have done or what my grandmas might have done, etc. This should be quicker and easier, but it's not. I find that this thread's actually a bit hard to separate. Okay, we have 3 bits. I've got a good sharp needle. Forgot my glasses. I tell you what, I wish my little helpful threader would arrive. Oh no, yesterday it was so quick, and today it's like, oh, just go in there. I don't have the patience for it. I don't. I tell you, sitting there for trying to thread a needle for 5 minutes, honestly, I can't see it. I should have my glasses on. Right. Okay, I've got it. Now I still haven't worked out how to do a quilter's knot, but I do it that way. And so Anne's talking about even just a basic larger slip stitch. I need pins. Okay, I've got my glasses. I should have had them before. I've got my little funny op shop find of the little mousy doodah thing, whatever it is. With my pins. So I'll just get this started. I've got going to my friend Sharon's, so there we go. My friend for dinner, because I'm allowed, because it's social bubbles are allowed now. Or in fact, actually, so that last night the announcement was that they've stopped the curfew in Melbourne now. So the curfew is gone. Which made no difference to me because I'm at home and I stay at home, so it's no big deal. I don't go out partying late at night. Just trying to work out how to hold this. This is slippery. Of course I chose the slippery material. Nice big long slip stitch. Get all of them down, because you can always do a bit of this stitching and decide whether or not you want to take it out after, once you've put some other stitching in. One thing I'm learning is that I can think I've got something straight and I actually don't have it straight. Maybe this whole series is just going to be about me totally messing this up. Anyway, it's enjoyable. I'm having fun. It actually is very peaceful and very relaxing. And I'm sure as each day goes on, it'll get more complex. But for now, this is quite fun, just like this. Let's get all of these down. The good thing about these sharper needles is you can just kind of do this thing. Is there a technical name for this? I don't know. And if you watch this, maybe you can tell me what the technical name is. The technical name of doing lots of stitches in a row so you can just pull it through and it's all done. Like so. Probably didn't want to come up that high, that's a bit frayed. However, double check. Oh yeah. So as I look at this, I'm thinking about how it starts to inform your design and your, you know, your pattern colours, this first page. Now I think I'm going to, I know I want to go down here and across here. However, I don't want to do a double run down here. So I think, just going to use a little bit of creative license here. I'm going to come out here, come up here. Oops, oh no, it came undone. Oh, the dreaded cotton out of the end of the eye of the needle, and you've got to re-thread it. Moment. Alright, I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to come out up here. Just making this up as I go. I do want to make this another like cross, to make that a bit of a cross. Oh yes, I can do that. The only problem is I'm running out of, yeah, this is getting too short. I'm going to see if I can manage it or not. Probably not. There. Oh, I'm just going to make it, I think. What I might do is poke that through there now. Poke that through there. What a novice. And I'm going to tie this off here. If I can, with my bodgy thumb. Can't even bend it. Ridiculous. Can't. I feel like I've lost my dexterity. Here we go. There's a knot. And here's another knot. Okay. There. Now, why don't I tuck these here out of the way for now? Right, so I've done a little cross there. That's cute. What's the time? I've got to go to my friends. Oh yes, I'll have to stop and I'll have to come back. Okay, I'm back, and this is what I did last night at my friend Sharon's. And I know Anne said to keep it simple. I've reviewed what Anne did on her first page, and mine is like kindergarten and hers is like high school simple. So not quite sure what happened there, but I'm going to continue on today. I thought I'd make a very patterned piece down the middle here. I had a lovely night last night. I got to sit by the open fire. We watched my brother, who's just bought out 2 books. We watched him do an interview about the books. That was good. Isn't it funny, we see our family members, but we don't always see them in their work setting, and they can be quite different in their work setting. So I learned some stuff I didn't know about my brother, really. I mean, he's well, if you've got any kind of relative that is popular, so he's been a DJ for a very long time, and people think, I don't know what they think. They think he can't do anything wrong, I think. So anyway, he's like God to them or something. And it's very funny because, you know, it's your brother, because you've got all the history of all the crap that happened as you were growing up. All the stuff that makes him, you know, just a normal person, human being, etc. And they're all thinking he's amazing. But anyway, he did his interview, and it was very good about his books. And also the lady interviewing him was very good too, because she knew what questions to ask and she knew her content really well as well. So yeah, it was quite interesting. I hope you can't hear that fly. How annoying. Got the window open and I thought it had gone out. So you probably can't hear it. I can hear it. It's annoying to me. So yeah, that was a lovely night by the fire, listening to that. And then because we don't have a curfew now, so I was up really late past my bedtime. I was there till 9 p.m. Way past my bedtime. But we have both been singers in the past, so we're still getting to know a bit more about our backgrounds as singers. So she's a friend who's been a newish friend for the last year or two, so you still get to know who people are. And we ended up showing each other different YouTubes of our favourite singers after my brother's interview. So that was really quite good. I like this pattern because we both come back. We both come from, we're 1 year apart, just under a year different in age. So we also were singing and in the music field at the same time. So we often find we know the same people and find it quite amusing that we never met each other before a year or two ago. And that's okay. Now we can tell each other all the stories about what it was like for us growing up in the 80s and 90s as jazz singers in Melbourne, Australia. Well, I'd say I was a jazz singer, she was more a soul singer. Either way, fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff about having similar stories to tell each other too about who dated who. That's funny. Who dated who? I think she saw a lot more bands than I did. I was a bit more of a. I was well. She loves the raw bluesy soul stuff, and I do too. But I tended to prefer the more intellectual jazz music. So, if you can call it intellectual jazz, if that's the right phrase for it. But I went and studied and refined all my understanding and learning, and she just wanted to do it and get out there. So we're very different in that regard. But yes, it's quite nice to know someone, make friends with someone who kind of understands your background when you've been into so many different areas and done so many different things ever since. Okay, let's have a look. Alright, this is where I would agree with Anne that you could take off this stitching, but I had a look and Anne actually did do an enormous amount more on a page. I was thinking simple, just a few little bits and pieces. I think I might have to go up the side here. If I take this slip stitch, the big one off, this will stay on now, but it's going to feel like there's a gap there. I do not like that fly buzzing around over there. How annoying. Oh yes, so this morning I went and I had an ultrasound on my hand, my thumb, finally. Went and got that done. And it's probably, well, they seem to have a new name for it. It was tendinitis is what it was called. But anyway, whatever the new name is, same thing. And what am I doing? There's not a lot I can do. It's like what happens is when you're cutting with your scissors, if they dig in here, so if you're cutting a lot like this, and it digs in there on the ligaments and digs in there on the ligaments, and you're cutting hard things to cut over and over, the collagen in the ligaments gets, there's not enough. And the reason for me that there wasn't enough was when in your body chemistry, who wants a science lesson? That's what you're going to get at the moment. It's a science lesson time. So because we went into stage 4 lockdown and I get stressed about stuff, what happens is the cortisol rises in your body if you get stressed. All those things in the body just get really, they kind of like the cortisol goes up and all the other things that are good about keeping you relaxed and peaceful and happy, etc., goes down. And so then what happened for me was I think I had a few panic attacks about stage 4 because I'm quite sensitive about all sorts of things. And that's what happened. My cortisol went right up, and so everything else got out of balance. So while I was cutting and not having enough of the good stuff going to all my tendons and ligaments, you probably think I'm mad saying this, but there'll be, if there isn't scientific evidence of it yet, there will be in the future. And so I was cutting while I was stressed, cutting with scissors, and that's what happened. And I paid the price. I should have had ergonomic scissors. That was what I should have had. Now that's really patterned through there. I don't know what else to do. I'm not sure, because now what I notice, I think that's going to, no, that's the front. That's going to go like this. Page 1 and page 2. The thing about it is that Anne did a lot more shapes and patterns over the top. Like, she kept on adding more things over the top. So maybe it's time for me to add a different colour. Maybe I'll add some green. Make some interest. Make some of this along here. That's pretty. What else? One of them. I'll need some more. I definitely will need to introduce some more patterned material. Got some of this as well. That might be better. I like that better. Right, that's going to go along there. Or it could go along here. Can even poke out a bit. Yeah, like that. So I got one of these in the mail. I'm still working out how it works. There's a little pin thing, there's a little tiny weeny hook, like a crochet hook. It's very tiny, and you pop that through the needle and bring your thread back in. I still haven't quite mastered it in terms of threading the needle. I'm not sure what this bit's for. I don't know what that bit's for. I just made it up, and hopefully oh, you know how it is. Find things as you go. Alright, I've got, I think I had too much sugar last night. Can't focus my brain. Here's a thin one. because, oh, dinner, yes, let's talk about dinner. So anyway, we had some Indian food for dinner. We had, I had a bit of chicken and a samosa. We had a samosa each. A bit of chicken in a nice tomato sauce thing. And what else? Oh, and she'd made an apricot crumble, apple and apricot crumble. So we had that. That was delicious. Everything was delicious, of course, because it is food. I love food. Do love my food a bit. I'm doing straight, is it backstitch? See, I don't know what I'm talking about. Here you go. It's the one where you go forward 2 spots and come back 1 spot. That kind of one. Backstitch. Just going to put a pin there to hold that down. That's better. Now I like adding a bit of green. That's nice. Now obviously with this, I am not going to get a video done a day because this was started a bit yesterday, doing a bit now today, but there's probably a lot of sewing, so I won't be, I may not finish this even, or I might finish some tonight, but still have to come back tomorrow for the video, and so that'll mean that I'm really getting one done every 3 days, if that's the case. Well, we'll see how we go. I mean, it's lovely, it's peaceful, it's fun. Not even making a mess. Truth is, I'll have to finish this and I'll have to make a mess. I'll have to go and do some painting. Or I haven't done anything with paint. I did the mixed media piece the other day, but I haven't done anything with painting, like paper. I'm missing paper. So what else happened with our... Okay, so our curfew's been lifted. We're allowed to now go to the shop with 2 people. Did I say that? Maybe not. I think we're allowed to have 2 households gather, so you can probably meet your neighbours for a picnic in the park or something. Isn't that annoying when that just runs out right at the end? Okay, so while I've got the green on, I'm just thinking, what should I do with the green? If I'm taking the tacking edge off, I could just do a little blanket stitch or something. Oh, I'm not meant to be. It's all meant to be straight stitch. All right. Sorry, Anne. do the same sort of a stitch, back stitch. That'll help the edges a little bit actually. It's going to be nice and tattered and frayed on the edges, I think. This upholstery material gets frayed at the edges. Cast that off. Make it a bit long so as it can be tucked in behind that other page. All right, I've got to come up with a couple more ideas. Oh, no, not using it today. What about a square of green? And let's just see how it looks. That was terrible cutting. That up. Now, what if that I think I've cut it too big. I think it needs to be a bit smaller. And maybe there. Well, I don't know, I don't want to cover that up. But if I put this here, it's like something different has to happen to it to make it interesting. Going to use the, yep, okay, still using the green. So I guess I'm thinking about, Anne had the additional textured material that made it probably just a little bit more interesting with the patterning. I've obviously gone for neutral colour texture, whereas Anne and other people that I've been watching use beautiful, beautiful bits of material that are all antique-y or have designs on them. Okay, so what I just did then was started to judge whether mine was as good as anyone else's. So stop that, Christina. And we all do this. We do this stuff because we love it, and we do this stuff to keep ourselves entertained. And why would I tell myself mine wasn't as good as anyone else's? It's equally as good, and it's also just what I'm making here now in the moment, and that is perfect and fine. Goodness me, I know I will. Anyway, I'm judging myself about that, but look, how much pattern did I use in this? Look at that. It's got every bit of material except for the backing is patterned. So there you go. I will stop beating myself up and enjoy this process. There's no end, is there, to the little rubbish stories that we tell ourselves. They're all rubbish. Should have used a pin. No pin there, just hold it down. So I'm going to go off and continue sewing this down, and I might do a little bit more tonight and come back again tomorrow and see if I can get this page finished. Some more ideas, just see where I go with it. Sometimes off camera you come up with a few more ideas, but I'll be seeing you soon. Okay, so I'm back. I'm just finishing up the last little bit of my part 2 here with, I did put in a bit of a colourful bit of material. When I cut out the little hearts for this one, I had a bit of material that I folded in half and then folded in half again and then cut the hearts out. So I still have had this little, like a template of the hearts. So I cut one off and I'm putting it on here. I love that. I'm a bit excited about that. Quite happy. And I'm just going to finish this edge off. It's a bit dull today. It's raining. I've been for my morning walk, and the rain was just a very, very light drizzle. And something I learned, because of course my flatmate's from America and I'm in Australia, so sometimes we have a little bit of a giggle about the words that we use that we are different but have the same meaning. And she said to me, she was talking about sprinkle, and I went, what? Sprinkle? And all I could think about was sprinkles that you put in a sandwich. Like in Australia we have what we call fairy bread, and you sprinkle on some sort of, I think they are called sprinkles in America. We call them hundreds and thousands, but I don't think she knew what I meant when I was talking about hundreds and thousands, which are just little tiny balls of, I think it's like a tapioca, really tiny little balls, but all different colours, and then you put them in on a sandwich. Anyway, we call that fairy bread in Australia. Okay, let me go through what I did last night. I finished this. I put on some little strips with little crosses on. I took the tacking out because I didn't quite like it. I thought it was a bit over the top. I've still got bits of the tacking stuff there. I put on a little bit of, so I've added this green in to help blend in with this green. Made a little pattern, little curly whirly. I've kept this and added some stitching around the outside, and then I added another bit of lace. I think I'd already gone through that bit of lace, and I added one of the little flowers. I can see that I might actually just add a little bit here to tack that down. I'll probably use a bit of that. And other than that though, I've finished part 2. Well, I think Anne just did part one. Part 1 included this as well as the making the book, and she basically started at the end of making the book. But I just do what I do. That's me. I just do it my way. So I hope you're enjoying this, and I look forward to some people coming along, whether they're going and doing it with Anne or whether they're just coming along with me. I'm following Anne, so it's up to you. You do what works for you. And I'll see you in number 3 when I get that done and when I look into it. Hopefully not too long. I think today I'm going to go and do some other crafting and maybe some painting, and definitely working with some paper today. And I will see you later. Bye.